Alright, so we're going to be looking at two demos from Pootvich we've played on the Digital Directives Potato MvM campaign. So he's on heavy, and we're on swirl. I would say a map that's somewhat like radar in terms of progression, but a bit less long and open, I would say. So you're having some balls to laugh at these crit bots. The first Pooties has been called. Mo dies, leaving the Uber Megs. Be dealt with by the heavy. Buster Noise really scared the hell out of me. Nice teamwork there, saving the medic. Only for him to get grilled. Classic MvM stuff. Playing the corners. That's wave 1. Pretty solid. Can already notice that the demo has a bit of problem dealing with the situation. But not too big of a deal. So Pootvich is playing resistance heavy. which is the way you should be doing it. And just random teams. If you ask me.
Who is not ready? Go, go, go! Get bloody going! You're ready?
Speed through these wait times. There's going to be bots back spawning, and he has positioned himself properly. It's nice to see. Medic has gone to sleep. And what's that? The real problem is running resistances and no gun upgrades. You're so reliant on your teammates. That medic was gone, his healing was gone. He couldn't hold the line on his own. Unless the scout maybe milks something. But that's just the same reliance. On a more less reliable level. Depending on how much recharge the scout has. Maybe a bit too eager to go for some random quick fix medics.
Put dispenser here.
Probably move up right here, round to the bottom of that hill. The Indy doesn't seem to want to do that, so a bit risky going. We'll probably still target the giant here instead of that Fister, but in the end it doesn't matter. Good position to hold around the corner on a hill.
I love this.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Very well.
So there's not much to really mention here. Everything's going well for heavies. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Stop.
I know who the engineer is, but he knows to adjust position based on the path, and he also is going to help with the limp that's going to show up, which I thought was going to be a problem at the beginning, since the demo was not too capable of dealing with Uber medics and staying alive himself, but he actually recognized the situation as well, which was surprising.
Thank you, Doctor.
Alright, feel good.
Thank you, Doctor. Hide, cowards.
Classic forward spawning spies. The problem with the medic is he knows how to use shields and Ubers, which is fine, but he also needs to figure out how to stay alive. This is where the demo actually surprised me. He jumped in on top of the fucking blimp and then has Scottish Skullcollar, Scotsman Skullcollar. Actually doing quite well in it. God, these spies are stupid. Not sure if the medic shield triggered that quick fix or if just the engineer dealing damage to that pyro triggered it, but bomb resets. Pyro goes in a killing spree. Probably not the position you want to be in, going for that ammo. A bit too risky there. Could have been called out from your team. Playing the corners. This is actually something that I didn't notice the first time, but noticed on this. And it's kind of hard to see. But there's this metal door. And there's something moving in that metal door. And I don't know what it is. It looks like some kind of weapon. I thought about this for a while, since the spies have spawned in. I can only assume that it's either a demo bug, visual demo bug, or one of the spies actually spawned somewhere behind this wall. Somehow. But not entirely sure. We could go for the Uber medics. A bit risky. It leaves you away from blocking. The engineer has a head on his shoulders. Classic custom busters.
Well done. I'm giving you a bonus.
Again, pretty solid, pretty solid. The only real issue coming from your teammates, I would say. The medic especially not being able to properly support himself. And as such, everyone else. You bought some penetration and some more ammo, evidently. Most likely because the engine's not up to speed when it comes to supplying you.
Let's go, let's go, let's go! I cannot
Which is fair.
get bloody going! I'm ready!
You! We bought heads! Bought Heavy's head!
It's Kong the Terminals!
You!
Robots are here. Protect man code. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So this enemy type, I don't know if you knew what he was doing or what it is. But unless you really truly know, just stay away from that. You're most likely going to get smashed. Flexing. Well, deserve flex. And the introduction of another fun custom buster. The player buster. Unfortunate Ubers. Medic is called in. more player busters. And yeah, unfortunate, surely. Would have probably been better to just stay in your steel fist there. The medic not being able to deal with normal situations, just being sandwiched was already too big of an issue. Good old player busters. 2 for 1. Medic dies, supplying you with more ammo. What a nice guy. Bad Scout's almost tearing you apart. As it goes, with Bad Scouts just smashing. Easy block.
But there are more good get
Still not ready to fight. Take that!
Pretty smooth ride. That's usually how it goes with heavy games.
Go, go, go!
Dispenser going up. Sensor going up.
Might the medic to take care of himself.
Go, go, go! I am charged. Who is not ready? Thanks, mate. Everybody ready? Go!
Manco is under attack. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Thank you, Doctor!
You're moving a sentry forward for the first time around. Providing some more blocking power for these brick snipers. It's nice to see you care so much about your team with the sandwiches and all, but there's times where you just
Security warning.
don't really have the time to babysit everyone.
Oh no!
You could see it that way, that if you stop shooting and throw sandwiches out, you stop killing, which just leaves the people you're trying to save in more danger as well. So if you have some downtime to throw sandwiches or situations right, like right here with shields up and all, you can do that. Otherwise I'd really just chill on the food dispensing. Here we have back spawning giant heavies. Gonna plus that illuminatic. Custom boss still slightly confused.
Oh Jesus.
In a good team. Incoming!
Yeah, just trigger that shit with charging medics. Not a big deal. Not for you anyway.
Don't have enough DPS to kill this by myself.
They most slightly disturbed about his ability to deal with this tank, but she shouldn't really worry. Considering this flies around the left, it's halfway dead already. At that stage, I would probably just not even bother with this. Like his random crits and all put a good dent in that.
Many little men on this
So I wouldn't bother going after this right here. Even though it creates a pretty funny situation.
Wait, let me get off!
But poor Demoman, yeah. He underestimated his ability and then he overestimated his team's ability, I guess. Got caught out himself on the tank. Or blimp, whatever you want to call it. Now here's something that I truly didn't understand whatsoever, but I found it hilarious as all hell. Pretty normal for heavy upgrades, right? I'm a cap. If the NG's not up to the task, you can easily forget about firing speed. One penetration is good enough. Knockback. Nobody needs that. Very situational. Destroy projectiles.
Giant can get stuck in walls from teleporters.
So the demo said it says that the giant can get stuck in walls from teleporters. Now, I don't know
I'm ready.
why you were so worried about teleports, but
Put teleport here. Put teleport here.
you keep a good amount of time
Put teleport here.
trying to convince this engineer from moving this teleporter for some reason.
Put teleport here.
And he's obviously not going to respond to just call outs like that.
Ah, this is bad.
3,
But it creates an interesting situation where you're away from the front line,
Run, coward.
which is actually beneficial at that point, since there's two back spawning giant sandmans, one rushing right towards you right there. And I don't know if he just can't hit you because you're lower than him on that roof, or if he just can't get through this door, but he cannot touch you for some reason. Or he can barely touch you. And that's one of them. Fortunately, there's another one. I'm not sure why you're taking the long way around here, but okay. What clenching moment right there, almost getting blasted off. That man was attacking Med. I don't think the Med was even up there. Was he? I was sworn he was down below and then just crits him on the roof.
Teleport here. Put teleport here.
I could be wrong. Maybe he was up then.
Put dispenser here.
You keep trying to convince the engineer to move his teleporter for some reason. And I don't know, it's weird. You're so worried about the teleporter. Or you want the giant to get stuck in it or something? I'm not sure what the plan with that was, but confused me. Team time, Doctor. God, I hate these demo knights. It's so annoying. We have so much knockback in this game. You really don't need fucking demo knights to provide more of this shit. Pretty easy hold around corners. Ammo, plenty. This is probably a dangerous place to be in with these demo knights as well. Like this slope and this corner, they could easily knock you away and off the fucking map. So I wouldn't even consider moving up here. Once it gets stomped, as one does during MvM.
Money will not wait forever. The entire team is ready. We're a good team. I will not tolerate failure on my team. Move gear up. Left. Oh.
I think going back to spawn here is just not necessary. It takes so long. Might as well just kill blind. And I'm not even sure what he's going to buy. I think he bought more firing speed. But doesn't really matter, does it? No, I bought more health and kill. Then he was taking the teleporter too, which he was so worried about, I guess. I'm not sure.
Alert! Another sentry buster has entered the area.
I'm incoming!
Bit of ping pong here. Can't exactly pull out your steel fists against the steel fist. Wrapping around. Falling back. Okay, Pootvich. That's okay. Didn't miss much. First game is pretty solid. Not much to even talk about.
Move machine up!
Now that you're here, why were you so like worried about this teleport?
Put teleport here! Put teleport here! How could this happen?
Our poor giant heavy.
That shotgun giant takes the TP. Well, yeah, but you don't need that bot whatsoever. That bot wouldn't exist. This wave would go exactly the same way. I'm pretty sure this boss is also pretty busted. I don't know if it's a design choice or something, but you can just camp his face and he never attempts to jump you and just stops shooting entirely. You can just sit in his face and just barrage him. The only reason you get pushed away is because that sniper just waltzed into your face. So yeah, you really didn't need that shotgun heavy to do anything. You were doing, oh look, I found a cosmetic case, exciting. You were doing everything in that game to begin with, from taking out medics to holding the line, dealing damage. So really not a concern if that random bot support is just killing himself. I do most of the job. That's fair. I mean, heavy is powerful. If you play heavy right, you can do pretty much 70-80% of the things in a wave. Unless there's multiple tanks or vacs around, you're probably not gonna have any problems whatsoever.
Ready!
Unless there's super medics maybe just smashing your ass open. Something. This is actually something that I didn't even think about myself. Is it worth opening crates now? And it's true, we don't have any crates anymore, right? We just have cases, and cases have keys for themselves. So the actual Manco supply crate keys,
Going!
we don't really have a use for them in terms of opening anything. So
Pony up,
keys
boys.
are just like a trading item at this point, right? And I noticed that the price on the market, like the Steam community market, for keys especially, was actually quite low. It's 30 cents lower than the store price for me. So there must be so many keys around and not enough being used that the supply and demand is sort of shifting, where the price Valve sets just gets undercut by the community by such a pretty huge margin
Let's begin. Shall we?
that you basically don't have to buy any keys
The first wave of
from
Marines
Valve
is here.
anymore at all. Buy them from the market or something, and then you'll
3,
have your trading items and you're set. Second time you ever played this mission. First time when the key was released, and okay. I kinda like transmission, but I also think there's something terribly wrong with just bot pathing. I don't know if it's this mission in particular. I have to play the previous mission on this as well. But that upper spawn area is just... I think the pathing from there is just busted in a way. Almost feels like a Doppler situation where you have two paths, but not really. It's more like a back spawn, and then you have to worry about stuff coming from behind. Open the first part of the map is... yeah. It's hard. It's not really useful to set up further, right? And especially in this mission where the bots were allowed to shoot from this spawn. So you're naturally just gonna set up further away from the ginormous spawn opening. Then they have that container crate on top where they also drop out of, which can really catch people out. Rest in peace, medic. You can cover meaningful classes that need to upgrade level drop down. True as well, there's like this one crate at there, and you can still get caught by something from top. Kinda dangerous to be in that situation. You just get sandwiched by bots from behind when you're trying to chase, so I'd rather just stay in the line where you could fall back. But there's a problem, right? You threw your sandwich down to that sniper who was dead whether or not he got his food. And you're still caught behind that guy and the other fucking bots. So instead of just worrying so much about others, you should just leg it, really. Just run back, try to catch up, regroup with your team. It was kind of silly. You picked up a medium health kit to throw a sandwich for the medic, which just gives him the same thing, basically. This could also be a problem. I know you said you like just dropping these meds, but that's just a quick fix medic. And you're just letting that giant walk. So if you had a team that wasn't capable of blocking this from anything, that guy would deploy. or it would be potentially more dangerous. So you should not let that guy just walk. Like right here. He's just walking past. These are just quick fix medics too. I would maybe understand it if it was Uber medics. Just letting these giants walk free. It's not a good idea.
Get to an upgrade station.
Especially not near the hatch.
From now on, losing is important. Who is not
So back to ref talk and key talk. Price of keys didn't change. That's the problem people don't realize. Keys didn't get more expensive. It's ref that becomes less valuable. I wonder if he's playing anything else than heavy in MvM. Funny that you asked that. I asked him about it, and he is a heavy main. So he mostly plays heavy, but he also plays some soldier. And medic when he's bored of like being a heavy. Recall later after quick fix medic healing that fast that it's survived multiple crit heals in a row. Yeah, that's true. The crit didn't phase them because they overhealed themselves, being able to tank your crit, and then just heal themselves up again. So this is something I think it's just a padding problem for like the upper spawn area. These cap scouts, I don't think they're supposed to come down here. Because some of them walk down like these. And then some that spawn later actually go past on the top. It's scary there. Quite boring to play heavy. Most of the time just sitting middle space with shooter stuff. Not just discuss about demo and heavy's gameplay. Yeah, right there. The giant scout just comes running. The NG wanted to move his shit back to probably prevent that cap from happening. But it was just bad timing overall. You out of position from blocking, the NG moving his block. And the scout's just having a free pass. Luckily the gate gets capped, so the bomb resets. But that could have been probably the game over there. Kind of funny how the sniper just shot that. Then he gets killed. It's slaying into your team. Found it hilarious. Hilarious that you threw the sandwich and the scout out of all people ran for it. Just to get set ablaze. Here's the problem with just mainly focusing on resistances. You threw your only healing item away to help your team, and now you're caught out again between random pyros and other bots, leaving you with no option but just health packs for healing. You could just stain yourself in these fights much easier and better if you just invested like a single point in health and kill. You could have killed those pyros, would have had more health, and could have dealt with that giant scout. Just having 1 point in health and kill could have probably already be enough. You like just playing around with resistances, which is the correct way to do it. But as it turns out, teammates are quite unreliable. That giant scout, I have no idea where he came from. Probably snuck around the top. And then came around from the other side. So you switched to the Natasha, I assume to stop these scouts. Which is a debatable choice, but an understandable one. You recognize the problem with the scouts, but you're also just giving up your own damage to deal with something that should be dealt with in a better fashion overall as a team.
Let's go! Over here! Let's begin. Packing up! Over here! Let's begin. Over here! The sentry. Let's begin. Shall we? Shall we?
I think if they wanted to improve this, like, first area, they would need to completely redesign, like, this low ground or something. Gotta do sacrifices for the team in order to do something. Yeah, but you could also just have a brass beast. You know, you opt for less damage to stop the giant scouts by slowing them down, but you also could just have more damage to kill them faster, right? You would still get the resistance bonus from the minigun as well. Scout gets decapitated once more. Now the cap scouts that were running down before suddenly aren't going down, they're going for the gate, right? So there's something with that pathing up there that's just not functioning properly. No, I get it. I completely get it if you don't want to use brass. I understand completely. I'd rather be mobile and adjust to multiple situations as well. It's just like the thought, you're trying to slow the giants down with the Natasha, but dealing more damage with the other minigun could also work the same way around, right? If anything, I'd probably just do it the same way, just using Natasha's. Because I'm just not a fan of the brass beast's slowness and it just feels so annoying to use. Running low on ammo. Luckily someone dies for you. Gotta love the walking dispensers. Yeah, that's true. Heavy deals already a ton of damage without minigun upgrades or using Natasha. That's the reason. Why not just use Natasha all the time? God mentality players and men are hated when I use Natasha. I mean, that's not a good standard to go by to begin with. I couldn't care less if you use a Natasha or a Tomislav or whatever. You're playing well as heavy and don't just get fucking immediately blasted apart by 3 bots just looking at you. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't even know if it matters here, right? Did the Natasha really save this wave from like going to shit? Or did the wave just progress differently from before, where you were just better positioned and had better like overall teamwork to just deal with the thing that gave you problems before? Oh, Jules. Ah. It's just wave 2. It's not enough pain yet. I kicked a long time ago for using Natasha since it deals less damage multiple times, so I'd rather stay quiet and use minigun than looking to make kiddos crying. Oh, I love making kiddos crying. I love it.
Good. I'm giving you a bonus.
If they have enough time to cry about a damn weapon, then they should invest that time into just getting better themselves.
Who is not ready?
Right! Go, go, go! Move it, lads!
Let's go!
The full res, but fire.
The attack has started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do you think there is still money to be made in TF2 trading? You give the short answer of yes, which is the correct answer. Congratulations, you won the game. It's forward spies, dude. It's maybe something to consider. Not necessarily a problem. It doesn't have to be. Like, if you have giant medic and just have a combo of a giant medic, quick fixes especially, you probably don't want to just block the giant. If they get disconnected, they're most likely just going to use the Ubers, so instead of just blocking them, I would just move back in front of them so they can still follow their heal target. Because they could have easily disconnected here if the engineer wouldn't have blocked. It might have created a more problematic situation than it needed to be. But again, it doesn't need to turn out that way. It could just die, just like he did, even if they disconnect. You never really tell sometimes.
But we're not done yet. And quickly, get to an upgrade station.
Daddy Gary! Ready! Go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The robots are here for 3, 2, 1.
Robots are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They've made. I wish they still kept the feature of painting weapons. That white bison looks nice. I mean, it wasn't really a feature, right? It was just. It wasn't even intentional. Like, paint weapons like cow manglers and shit. I don't know why they just don't have wall paints for all the weapons. It really confuses me. I don't know if that has something to do with that being promo weapons or something. But who knows what they're doing, what they're thinking. Probably not a lot. Yeah, the beginning of that wave went to shit pretty fast. Really much you could have done there. See, that's another situation where I don't know if trying to heal the medic, obviously the damage didn't hit him, was the right choice here. You could also just have turned around and maybe tried to aggro the guy who was shooting at the medic. And that still doesn't mean you would have saved the medic that way, but maybe a sandwich isn't always the solution. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what's going on in the situations at hand. Some stuff you just don't notice, you just you focus on something. So in that situation, when the medic was shielding here, that giant, I would have just switched with him when he was done. You could have still blocked and probably prevented that guy from even shooting a single rocket if you just keep blocking. Since you have penetration too, I believe. Or if you didn't, even then you could have just shot around that giant. Or waited for a team to deal with it, and then just take care of that without even having a move. But not too big of a deal, really. You can have. Either way. Not like this is the definitive way to deal with enemies, it's just something to maybe consider at other times, you know, when it's not the last part, or you have to aggressively hold something from moving in your hatches or something like that. You don't really have the time to back out of something.
Thank you, Doctor!
Defend our upper 3-2-1.
I know you said that like fisting into these was sort of something enjoyable to you, but this is the situation we were talking about before where you tried to punch that guy and it didn't work. So instead what just happened was a giant gets to walk past. It's certainly possible to be had is so stupid. Yeah, there's that. Quality map. There's a dreadful. That's something you could probably debate, but I don't know where the Super Scout came from. I assume he came out of the top spawn where you were pushing forward into the giant, and that's why you didn't notice it. Or he spawned on top. I'm not entirely sure. That music come from? I'm pretty sure it's something he customized himself. And then Matt says we need soldier for stun.
Thank you, Doctor!
I don't think I have anything to say about that.
Time to flip. Let us do this. Let's begin. Go, go, go!
Get going!
Oh, I can't wait. Over here. Who wants a
Yeah, that situation with the scout. I don't know how you could have probably just stuck around the bomb, waited, but things like that just keep happening. If you want to deal with the stuff that's a problem right away, you know, like giant soldiers. I mean, you're not just gonna leave him there and let him do his thing. Maybe shoot other people when you can just kill him, right? So, just happens. Not like it's your job to deal with everything either. There's 5 other people on the team. Gun is handy but not necessary. Yeah, but it's like the same story. We need Natasha. What you would have said if someone said that? We need Natasha for slow. We need Spy for sapper. It's not what the class is about in general itself, right? That's why I dislike that statement.
Put sentry here.
No, it doesn't gimp the class, no. Obviously not, but it doesn't make the class. It doesn't make the class good. It's not what makes soldier something worthwhile using or playing. Good punches. I'll use a Fist of Steel. Still love. Yeah, I kind of like him, but I also got called out way too many times when there was just some random stupid bots smashing my ass. That dispenser is super out of place. No one's gonna hold that over there. The engineer thought better about it. He dealt with that quick fix Ubermedic, which just leaves you chasing that again, that you could just block it, right? Like before. Again, it's not like it's a big deal. I also don't know what the like the pacing of this last bit is. Like that giant came out, and now there's just these random sticky demos left. Not sure if that has something to do with the cap timing. That they were still disabled, even though since the giant doesn't get disabled. I don't know. Body block, easy game. Hell yeah. Fortunately, the medic gets absolutely blasted before he could use. And as such, things go horribly wrong.
The spies are here.
F teams. I don't know if using that teleporter was a good idea. Didn't really turn out bad, but again, like if they wouldn't have blocked that giant, he would have just walked while you were behind, trying to catch up again. Now comes the bane of everyone's existence. Resistance piercing enemies. You know, just completely negating every upgrade against that type of damage. Something you really would have to know. Unless you're just gonna get totally blasted. Scary times there with two people dying behind you and spies around. But like you had the time to turn. Playing around with the sandwich. Easy hold. Now that dispenser exploded, looked like the engineer just blew it up. Chaos ensues. That Bagus guy that's burst firing over there just gets extremely obliterated. At that point, you should probably be down there already. You saw the giants. Just drop everything that's going on up here. Just forget about this shit immediately. And deal with the giants down there. Easy aggro pull saves the day. And that's transmission. A bit more shaky and rough than that other game. Yeah, the 40% heal and kill is dangerous. That's the point, I believe. That's how heal and kill used to work in MvM back in the day. You could overheal yourself with health and kill. And then Valve changed that. One of the changes, I think, was for the better. But yeah, they did that when they actually gave a shit. about the game mode, I think anyway. So yeah, not much to add really. Resistance heavy, solid, maybe a bit more, less worry about your teammates' health status, and a bit more worry about, I don't know, just yourself maybe. Just invest 1 point in health and kill. It goes a long way when you have unreliable teammates like the medic in the first game, or when you don't have any healing sources. You have games where you just have no healing whatsoever. You don't have a scout, you don't have a soldier with conch, you just have a dispenser maybe. And that's not gonna top you up when you're getting smashed by whatever the fuck is going on. So just to keep yourself in fight some more. That's about it. I mean, there's not much else to say really. Positioning, maybe not just trying to fist every medic, but you know, there's some guilty pleasures in life you just can't resist. So I can't really fault you for that. I have my own guilty pleasures when it comes to dealing with spies and sniper bots. So yeah, that's not much to add really.